Well, good morning. It's great to see you, and welcome back to the shop, where recently we did a Tuesday Trash Day treasure find. I think you can see that in a video. I'll link it in the description of this one, where we came across this Toro lawnmower. Just to bring you up to speed, we're going to show you that segment, and then we're going to take it from there. We're going to dive into this thing and see if we can't get it fixed. Here's that segment. Here's a Toro lawnmower. Looks like it might be self-propelled, and you know, it doesn't look that old. And again, I'm not interested in bringing home anything that I can't use. I already have a lawnmower. Actually, I've got two, and the 38-inch mower deck on the tractor. But again, for somebody who's maybe moving into a new house or has a need for a lawnmower, why go to the big box store and spend $300, $400, $500, $600? Looks like the starter wire is broken on that. That's an easy fix. I might come back for that just to fix it and then put it back on the curb for free for someone. Taking the liberty of putting this lawnmower up on the short bench so I can get at it a little bit better, and perhaps you guys can see it a little bit better. Take quick stock of it. Trying to figure out how to get this cowling off. It looks like there's a screw right there. I don't think it can be quite that easy, and it feels like it's kind of on a little tighter than that. So I'm trying to figure out how this thing is attached. And then I noticed this here. It looks like somebody tried to take this sticker off, and there's a screw right there. So I'm going to see if I can't take that off and see if that makes any difference at all. And then I thought to myself, where else would I hide a screw? And I thought maybe behind this. So let's see if we can peel this back a little bit without ripping it. And yeah, what do you know? Look at that. There's a couple screws right there. So see, get a Phillips head screwdriver and see if that does the trick. It kind of loosens that up. Okay. Just going to take this and put this right here. Off now. Yep, comes right off. Okay, well, we still can't get at the flywheel, but it looks like there's a couple of, this is a bolt there. There's something here. So hopefully we're making progress. Let's see what happens when we take this screw out here. This comes loose, but not in the front. Let's see if I can. Does it slide off? Doesn't look like it. See if I can feel anything underneath there that's holding that on. Ah, see, there's a screw there and there's a screw there. I don't know if you can see that or not. See that right there? And there's one right there. So, it's loose. I learned a long time ago as a kid, with not a lot of patience, that it doesn't really pay to horse these things and force them off. Usually they break, and there was an easier way to get to it. So that's the advantage of some experience anyhow. So we're getting closer. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3 more nuts, and then maybe we can lift this piece off and see if we can't get at the cord, which is on the underside of this. So all right, see if we can't crack this one. These are on there tight. Yeah, there we go. This comes off now. Yeah, there we go. All right, we got that loose. Not sure what that was all about, but we'll put her back. Get her over here on the bench. Okay, I got her over here on the bench, and you can see the what's left of the pull cord in here. Looks like it just frayed and broke off. So it's not inside. It pulled out, broke there, and there was just no way to retrieve that. So that's what we're dealing with. So I would predict that there is a trip to the local hardware store in my near future to see if I can't pick up another pull cord. Okay, just got back from the hardware store, picked up this pull cord here, and what I did was I took this torch, it turned it on a little bit, like that. Just got it kind of hot, and then just kind of rolled it like that, so that It's kind of at a point, just makes it easier to fit through here. I'm going to see if I can't fish this through. See if I can't help it along here. Needle nose pliers, that's what I need. If you can see that, but I got that started through the hole there, and I'm just sort of feeding it. What I want to avoid is taking this flywheel off, because there's a spring under there that, there we go, it came out. There's a spring under there that can come loose, come off, and when it goes boing, when it releases, it makes a big mess. So, not that you can't, recoil them, but it's just something that I want to, something I want to avoid if at all possible. So, I'm going to tie a knot in that, and then hopefully we'll rewind this to the right tension, and we can go from there. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we got the knot tied on this end, so it can't come out. Now we'll get our new handle. We'll tie a knot on the other end. Like that. Not to bore you with the details, but we tied a knot on this end, actually a double knot, so it won't come out. We fish that through here. We have a knot, double knot on the other end of the handle, new handle that we just got, so that it doesn't come out there. And before we did that, we wound this up to what we kind of felt like was the right tension. That's why I'm holding it here, kind of have it held at the right tension. So really when we release this, it should pull in. And the other thing that we did, and you'll see it in a second, is we tied a knot right where we think that should be in terms of, when it's fully done. So see, I'm letting the spring release. That's that spring underneath that I talked about before, that I didn't want to take this piece out. And the other reason I didn't want to take this piece out is because this piece right here is not tight. You can see I can turn it a little bit, and it's not supposed to be tightened down. But if it's left loose, then it'll come out. And then we've got a mess. Obviously, it'll come out when this thing is rotating, when the machine is running. So this is secured in there with some Loctite, with some permanent Loctite. And you can get it out, and you could put it back using some Loctite, let it set, and you'd be fine. But you got to get this tension just right. And again, I've done that before, and it can be done, and it's not difficult. But if I can avoid that by simply just using the mechanism in place, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to let this continue to recoil. Again, this is just stuff I've done in the past, and the best way I've learned how to do it. See, there's that knot, and it's getting itself caught in that before it goes through that hole there. It looks like there used to be a grommet there. Maybe not. I think I'm going to unknot that knot from this end here. And I'm going to put a washer here so that it acts as a little bit of a stop, and then I'll retie that knot. Okay, so after searching for a while, who knew it would be that hard to find a little washer, but I found a washer that seemed to be about the right size. That's not going to fit through there, and that keeps this thing from going inside if it was to break. Hopefully we've got this at least at a tension that works. I don't know if it's the right tension, but we've got some recoil here, so we know that it'll pull back. Hopefully it's enough to spin the flywheel. I suppose we could, we can take this out and we can adjust it in or out if we need to using this knot right here. But I wanted to make sure that it had enough room, to reach up to here. So we're just going to pop this back on, see if we can't get this back to some semblance of, yeah, that's how it fits. Good enough. We'll put these 3 bolts on. We'll put the top cowling on and then the cover back on. And finally, we'll hook this up and give it a spin. These were on pretty tight when I took them off, so I'm trying to tighten them up. I suppose there's probably a spec to it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Tight is tight, and that's good enough. All right, now we got to put the next piece on. All right, we got to fit this through here, and guess what? It doesn't fit. No way can I get that through there. No way, no how. No matter how I do it. So guess what? I got to take this off again and fish it through here, and then fish it through there again and make another knot. It's always something, just like Rosanna Dana said. It's Always something. People from my generation will know that from Saturday Night Live, which was cool back when I was a kid. Okay. We'll put these bolts in. Again, the one that goes here and the one that goes here and here. And yes, for you sticklers, these are not bolts. Just to be clear, these are just machine screws. There's one. These, I believe, we can just drop in there and then tighten up. Yep. That one will drop in there and tighten up. Okay. I can put this back on now. And we'll put the top on. Okay. That goes there like that. Right. Put this back here to hide our little secret. I don't know if that's going to come off or not, but we'll see. Finally, this just goes up on us like this. Okay. What do you say we get this thing off this little bench and give it a pull or two and see what happens? Oh, those things are heavy. Those self-propelled units. Let's see what happens if I give this a yank or two. Yeah, it wants to. Here we go. Well, I'd say we got ourselves a runner. And it just so happens my lawn needs to be cut, so check on the gas situation here. I think it needs a little bit more because it was dead dry. I put a little bit in there before. But we're going to put a little bit more in, and we'll see how she performs out in the wild. In the meantime, friends, I think that's going to do it for this video. We appreciate you watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us a like, and we'd love it if you'd subscribe. I'm going to get out there and give my lawn a haircut with this lawnmower, and we will see you in the next one.